Ever since LEGO Indiana Jones was released in 2008, it's been surrounded by controversy. In 2023, these conversations resurfaced as one of the latest sets was cancelled due to its handling of themes such as racism, religion, and culture. This is the full history of LEGO Indiana Jones and how it pushed LEGO's policies to their limits. In June 2007, LEGO Indiana Jones was announced as the next licensed theme and was due to be released around the same time of the new film, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. On the 1st of January 2008, the first ever Indiana Jones sets hit store shelves. Motorcycle Chase, Lost Tomb, Race for the Stolen Treasure, and my personal favourite, Temple Escape. In May, 4 sets based on the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out to coincide with the film's release: Jungle Duel, River Chase, Jungle Cutter, and Temple of the Crystal Skull. In July, Peril of Peru was released as a Toys R Us exclusive and wasn't available in every country. 2 promotional sets were also released this year: the Jeep Polybag from the September and October Brickmaster magazine, and the San Diego Comic-Con Brickmaster pack. There were only 500 units of this pack, and it contained the Polybag alongside a small build with 2 Uga warriors. Moving into January of 2009, and we have Shanghai Chase, our first Temple of Doom set, and Fight on the Flying Wing. For our last set release of this period, we got a record high 5 sets in June: Ambush in Cairo, Chowchilla Cemetery Battle, Venice Canal Chase, Fighter Plane Attack, and the Temple of Doom. Moving away from the sets for a minute, LEGO Indiana Jones also received 2 of its own video games. The original Adventures was released in 2008 and retold the first 3 films in a humorous manner, just like the complete saga did for Star Wars. With the success of the original, a sequel was released the following year, The Adventures Continue. This time they included the 4th film while redesigning the original 3 with new levels and characters. For handheld versions such as the Nintendo DS, they released its own version which contained different gameplay and story. Over the course of 2008 to 2009, LEGO Indiana Jones was very successful for the brand. It instantly became one of LEGO's best-selling themes alongside the ever-popular Star Wars. Despite this newfound popularity, it came at a cost as the controversy surrounding the theme in both the sets and the games only continued to grow, forcing LEGO to stop making sets entirely and abandoning the line, disappointing many fans who had fallen in love with the theme. In 2016, the next film, Dial of Destiny, was announced to be released in 2019. After years of various delays from rewrites and the COVID-19 pandemic, it was finally released in 2023. To tie in with the release of the film, LEGO announced that the Indiana Jones theme would be coming back, and 4 sets would be released in April with the potential of another wave to be released after. Fighter Plane Chase, a remake of Fighter Plane Attack, Escape from the Lost Tomb, a remake of Lost Tomb, Temple of the Golden Idol, a remake of Temple Escape, and Temple of Doom, a remake of the 2009 set with the same name. However, the latter was cancelled before release, and no sets based on the new film were made. Fans loved the modern revamp of the sets and its minifigures, and could not wait for the next wave. Despite this, LEGO never released any more sets, nor gave any reasoning as to why. So what happened to this theme, and why has it been so controversial since it began? When the Temple of Doom set was cancelled, fans were left shocked and confused. As this was a remake, LEGO had already made this same set before, and even covered it in 2 different video games. To understand what went wrong, let's go back to the original film. The Temple of Doom has always stood apart from the other films, not just for its darker tones, but for how it was perceived by the public in 1984. The film follows Indy and his 2 companions, Willy and Short Round, as they crash land in India and end up on a dangerous journey to recover a sacred Sankara stone stolen from a small village. At the village, the Indians are depicted as helpless and fall victim to his white saviorism, the heroic outsider saving the so-called uncivilized natives, without any well-developed Indian characters to help him. Many viewers believe that this pushes colonialist ideologies. In the dinner scene, the group are given a menu filled with chilled monkey brains, snakes, beetles, and eyeball soup. Although Spielberg intended for this to be lighthearted and humorous due to Willy's and Short Round's reactions to the food, it was widely criticised for promoting offensive stereotypes about Indian culture. Critics argued that the scene reinforced Western misconceptions and stereotypes of India as exotic and savage. As the story progresses and they reach the Temple of Doom, the film takes an even darker turn. We're introduced to Mola Ram, leader of the Thuggee cult. In a gruesome sacrificial scene, he rips a man's heart straight out of his chest and lowers him into a fiery pit as members of the cult aggressively chant, The sacrifices are meant to appease Kali, the goddess of time, change, death, and the eradicator of all evils. He believed these rituals, involving heart removal and fiery pits, will strengthen his control over the mystical Sankara stones, which he uses to dominate and enslave others. This scene and the rest of the movie was so shocking that it contributed to the creation of the PG-13 movie rating in the US, as it pushed the boundaries of what was considered acceptable for a family audience at the time. Child slavery was also a common theme during this portion of the movie, which unsurprisingly upset many viewers. India hated the idea of the movie and how they were portrayed in it. They forbid the crew from filming it in India unless they made major changes to the script, and even shortly banned it upon release until it came out on home video. Nowadays, there are mixed opinions in India as to whether they find it offensive or not. The way this film handled certain topics such as race, religion, and culture by over-exaggerating or ignoring them has not sat well with many viewers to this day, hence surprising many people when LEGO decided to make a set on it. Before 2023's cancellation, LEGO had handled the Temple of Doom on multiple occasions beforehand. Looking back on the 2009 set, it's quite clear as to why it was put on shelves. Although there was a trapdoor play feature in the same spot the sacrifice would occur, they implemented the minecart track from the later scene into the set to block the figure from falling directly into lava. Although this might not have been intentional, it definitely does help. The only part of the wall that was visible was the skull stone that held the Sankara stones, avoiding any interference with the goddess Kali. There was no cage, nor the sacrifice victim. For what the scene truly was, the set avoided any of its religious or violent aspects that would interfere with LEGO's policies. In terms of the video games, the goddess Kali was shown and mentioned in the level name. Instead of the sacrifice victim being killed, he and his clothes were just simply burned. It's also important to note that his heart was not ripped out. In the second game, the sacrifice was completely removed and replaced with Mola Ram using the caged cooked chicken, and the statue of Kali turned into a boss fight, which was interesting to say the least. Although both games made the sacrificial element humorous, the religious aspect of Kali is quite strong in both. So why did the 2023 set get cancelled? Well, it shouldn't have. The set is virtually identical, containing the same play features with the sacrificial platform and the minecart tracks. The only difference is the depiction of Kali, which is rumoured to be the reason it was cancelled. But as we went over previously, that's nothing new to LEGO. In fact, the Ark of the Covenant, the main focus of the first film, and a major artifact in Judaism and Christianity, is no stranger to LEGO Indiana Jones sets and even got its set remade in 2023, just like the Temple of Doom was supposed to. They're both religious and have a strong role in death in each respective film. So where does LEGO draw the line? The only statement that they have issued on the topic simply confirms that it's been cancelled without even mentioning it. Throughout 2022, the LEGO Group worked closely with Lucasfilm to optimize our planned product lineup for the upcoming LEGO Indiana Jones product launches in April 2023. As an outcome of this, we consolidated the launch to focus on 3 products that feature some of the most iconic scenes from the Indiana Jones franchise. We hope our fans love the new range and can't wait to get their hands on them. The only reasoning for the cancellation that fans can muster up is Disney were worried about how the public would view the set and certain characters such as Mola Ram in the modern era due to how graphic and controversial the film was compared to other films of the series which aren't viewed in the same manner, explaining why the Ark of the Covenant is frequently seen throughout the LEGO theme. LEGO's strict policy of avoiding modern military weapons and vehicles has been a part of their brand for decades. The policy stems from their stance against promoting war or producing toys that could be seen as promoting violence. As stated by LEGO, the basic aim is to avoid realistic weapons and military equipment that children may recognise from hotspots around the world, and to refrain from showing violent or frightening situations when communicating about LEGO products. At the same time, purpose is for the LEGO brand not to be associated with issues that glorify conflicts and unethical or harmful behaviour. However, the Indiana Jones franchise, in its 1930s setting, includes depictions of military machinery and vehicles, many of which are directly inspired by historical conflicts, especially World War II and the Nazis. In sets like Race for the Stolen Treasure, Fighter Plane Attack, and Fight on the Flying Wing, military vehicles and aircrafts are the focus, which is unusual for LEGO. These sets include detailed recreations of armoured trucks, jeeps, planes, and weapons, all modelled after historical designs from World War II. While LEGO avoided using certain explicit symbols, it wasn't enough to avoid the backlash. Once again, they are heavily against selling sets with aspects of the modern military in them. especially from World War II. In the video games, characters based on the soldiers were given generic enemy officer titles, and the symbol was replaced by a red flag with 2 black lines through it. Furthermore, almost every soldier was depicted as the Aryan race with blonde hair and blue eyes, referencing their belief that their race was the most superior. The inclusion of military weaponry and vehicles has sparked debate for years and was likely the main reason as to why the theme came to a sudden close in 2009. LEGO's censorship of World War II symbolism does not erase the set's connection to real-world war and conflict. Some have questioned why they chose to partner with a franchise that's so heavily involved in military themes as it's against their policy. As The Dial of Destiny was a box office flop, it's unlikely we'll be seeing any more LEGO Indiana Jones sets or video games anytime soon. Although it's a beloved and nostalgic theme, its depiction of religion, racism, and cultural stereotypes, as well as its modern military aspect, are far too controversial for the company. Despite LEGO's attempts to make it suitable for its policies, it sadly no longer has a place within their portfolio.